much and good afternoon, everyone. I'm very glad to be here to open this virtual competency and training center. Before coming here, I wondered how many of us have ever experienced a blackout? Almost all, I would imagine. Which brings me to the first point I want to make today, on the personal toll of blackouts. Power outages or blackouts have happened for as long as we can remember. But the fact is, today they hit us hard, because our societies have become much more reliant on uninterrupted power. We use our smartphones for everything, from communication to ordering food to our doors. We read on our e-books. We work on our laptops. Some of us drive fully electric cars. So in a blackout, not only are we left in the dark, we are cut off from information, services, and even transport. But there is also a bigger threat that goes beyond the personal, which is my second point today. Blackouts affect whole societies. Communication services can break down. Public transport can grind to a halt. Heating systems can run cold. And often we face major security risks because energy travels across borders and often between areas of high tension. Because ongoing energy dependencies affect fragile geopolitical balances. Because protecting our power grids means more than just physical barriers, as attacks increasingly come from cyberspace. And our economies can suffer greatly. For example, the recent power cuts in California, intended to prevent the spread of wildfires, could end up costing the state's economy over $2 billion US. And it is estimated that a 6-hour winter blackout in my land, France, could result in damages of over 1.5 billion euros. Worryingly, as this video has shown us, it will only get worse. Which brings me to my third point, on the environment. Because natural disasters, from hurricanes and floods to extreme weather, will intensify over the coming years. And we have man-made disasters to contend with too. This virtual center offers risk management policies, technical training, capacity building, and other educational tools. Through it, we can share best practices and case studies. It can help us to close the gender gap and make the energy sector more diverse. And it is an example of how our model of regional cooperative security can be adapted to new and emerging needs. It is very clear that these needs are urgent, because the environment around us is shifting at an alarming rate. We are facing more natural and man-made disasters and more threats from cyberspace than ever before. So thank you all for being here to support this initiative. I know we are talking about virtual reality today, but I think this center will make a real difference in the everyday realities around us too. I thank you for it.
Thank you, Minister Lacek, and thank you very much for bringing this topic very high on our agenda this year under your chairmanship, and of course for your complete support that this project can be done. Now I would like to give floor to the Secretary General of the OSCE, Ambassador Demir. You have the floor.
Thanks, Hope. Colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, modern economies need safe and reliable energy supplies. With the rapid growth of digitalization, big data, and artificial intelligence, energy demand will remain high for decades to come. To meet this high demand, we need to make sure that energy reaches those who need it safely and securely. So I'm delighted that today the OSCE is launching its training center for the protection of critical energy networks, which is hosted by the OSCE e-learning platform. This initiative will help to protect critical energy networks across the OSCE region from both natural disasters caused by extreme conditions, weather conditions, as well as man-made disasters triggered by cyber attacks. What we are offering is more than just training. The OSCE is giving energy experts throughout our region a new tool for exchange and knowledge sharing. This will help create a genuine security community in the energy infrastructure field. And I'm especially pleased that the training center will include a module on how to incorporate gender sensitivities into energy safety plans risk assessments, and risk mitigation. And I would also like to mention several other useful OSC resources, including our handbooks on protecting electricity networks from natural hazards and on integrating critical energy network protection into effective disaster risk reduction policies. Finally, I would like to thank the Slovak Chairmanship for organizing this event and for financing this initiative together with the United States and Japan. I would also like to thank the Russian Federation and the Argonne National Laboratory for their generous in-kind contributions. Thank you.
Thank you, Secretary General, and now I would like to invite our colleagues from the United States and Japan, who, as you mentioned, have gave us a financial contribution for this project. Please, the first is representing the United States, the Director of the State Department's Office for European Security and Political and Military Affairs, Mr. Jim Donegan. You have the floor.
Thank you, and it's a pleasure, a great pleasure to be here to help launch this virtual competency training center on energy security. This for the United States is what we call an extra budgetary project, so it's over and above the usual money that we allocate to the OSCE. So as you can see, it's a high priority for us, but of course it couldn't be done without the political and financial support of others. So I would like to thank the Chairman in Office, the Foreign Minister Lechak, as well as Secretary General Greminger and Ambassador Zugic, and of course my colleague from Japan, the Deputy Foreign Minister. This is truly a group project, and I'm very proud that I personally and my country are involved in this initiative. As many of you probably know, energy security is a top United States priority, and we welcome the OSCE's ongoing efforts in this area, and your presence here at this launch, as well as the ongoing negotiations over the past few weeks on an energy security-related ministerial council decision, highlight the importance of energy security to all of you, to this organization, and to regional peace. And threats to this peace are manifold, of course. They span all the dimensions, but a few issues in particular apply to this one and have emerged in recent years as most urgent. First, as you know, some countries have increasingly utilized energy as a foreign policy tool to coerce other states. And second, extreme weather events have increased in intensity and frequency and threaten energy infrastructure. And third, new technologies are creating tools to help us navigate the ongoing energy and digital transitions while exposing vulnerabilities for malign actors to attack energy networks. So we're all hopeful that with this new virtual training center, it will help to train experts across the OSCE region to build the resiliency of their own energy infrastructure and to help counter such threats. And we certainly agree with the OSCE Office of the Coordinator for Economic and Environmental Affairs that electricity grids in particular are under threat. And we welcome this training center's focus and emphasis on this particular issue. And in cooperation with the U.S. Department of Energy's Argonne Laboratories, will support the project with its deep expertise in assessing energy grid vulnerabilities, and projecting and mitigating disaster fallout, and building online platforms for simulations and assessments, exercises, in other words, which the OSCE is very good at. So simply put, the innovative project we're launching today will help governments plan for, build resilience to, and mitigate the risks of and respond to attacks and disasters. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Donegan. And now I would like to pass the floor to the Parliamentary Vice Minister of Foreign Affairs of Japan, Mr. Shinichi Nakatani. You have the floor, sir.
第1幕スロバキア外務大臣、グレミンガ OSCE 事務総長、ドネガン首相、ご列席の皆様、本日重要なエネルギー網の保護に関するバーチャルノー訓練センター事業の記念式典に参列に大変光栄に思っています。
Dr. Lajczak, Minister of Foreign and European Affairs of the Slovak Republic, Mr. Graminga, Secretary General of the OSCE, and Mr. Donegan, the Director of the State Department's Office for European Security and Political Military Affairs. And ladies and gentlemen, it is a great honor for me today to attend the launch event of the project of Virtual Competency and Training Center on the protection of critical energy networks.
日本はアジアと欧州の連携、とりわけ連結性の強化を重視しております。本年、日本は EU と持続可能な連結性及び質の高いインフラに関する日 EU パートナーシップに署名いたしました。
Japan attaches great importance to the cooperation of Asia and Europe, especially strengthening the connectivity. This year, Japan has signed a partnership on sustainable connectivity and quality infrastructure between the European Union and Japan.
連結性はインフラ開発にとどまらず、エネルギーや人的交流まで含む幅広い概念です。その意味で、本事業はまさに日欧の連結性強化に資するものと考えております。また、エネルギー網の保護は、スロバキアが長年注力してきたテーマであると承知をしております。一方、日本はエネルギー網の防災について豊富な知見を有します。今回、日本の貢献は日スロバキアの関係のさらなる進化に進むものとしています。
Connectivity is a broad idea, including not only infrastructure development, but also energy and human communications. In this regard, I believe this project will surely contribute for further connectivity of Japan and Europe. Furthermore, I understand that the protection of energy network is a theme which Slovakia has been making efforts for long years. And Japan has a wide range of knowledge and experience on the disaster management of energy network.
日本は今後もこうした事業への貢献を通じ、OSCE と連携を強化してまいります。最後に本事業の成功を記念し、挨拶をさせていただきます。
I believe this contribution by Japan can lead to further deepening of bilateral relationships between Slovakia and Japan. Japan is going to continue to strengthen our cooperation with the OSCE through contribution to this kind of projects. I would like to conclude my remarks by wishing the success of this project. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Minister. And now I would like to invite Mr. Frederick from the Argonne National Laboratory, who is, by the way, one of our trainers, for his short input for this presentation tonight.
Thank you very much. That's a huge privilege to be here today and to participate in this initiative. Argonne is very excited about this opportunity to cooperate with all OSCE member states and the possibility to contribute to this center by developing some training material and support this initiative. So thank you very much for this opportunity.
Thank you. And now, ladies and gentlemen, with your permission, I would like to invite the Chairperson in Office, Minister Lajčák, and our Secretary General to come here and to perform the official inauguration of the ceremony, to take the scissors and cut the ribbon, which will announce that things are open. And after that, you will be Minister first, you have the glasses, to go to the virtual walk through our virtual center. Please.